This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is your boy Shad Talks Grabs, and we are back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic daily broadcast. My, oh my, it has been a super busy week in the world of pro wrestling. WrestleMania week is always a joy. It just brings so much content for us to review. And a lot of us out on the WR platform, man, got to give a lot of shout outs, man. Got to give out shout outs to all the podcasters on the WR dailies that have been part of it. Myself, my co-host that will be on today, but also many, many more. Got to give a big shout out to all the reviewers, one who's on the show today. Of course, we got the homie Kobe and Archie, and then all the people that are out there at Vegas right now, man. We got Clark, Kobe, Anthony, and Soul enjoying the days of Mania live in effect, as well as all the shows. It's going to be a lot more content to drop, but we got to review night 2 of WrestleMania, the better show of the weekend, in my opinion. And there is so much to talk about. First and foremost, I'm going to kick it off to the very talented David Sheldon. We did a podcast this weekend as well, reviewing SmackDown. We back at it with this one. How you doing, bro?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you very much for having me back. I'm very, very excited here to review Mania Night 2, a fascinating show, one that mostly blew Night 1 out of the water. And then the main event happened. Can't wait to talk about that one. Anyway, really, really interesting show. Lots to talk about. So let's get straight into it.
No doubt. You're definitely right. It was definitely a crazy, crazy main event that I'm excited to talk about. Last but not least, you also saw him talk a lot about what was going on this weekend. He got to do the night 1 watch along in person with Ben Allison. And of course, he probably had to tell Ben he was wrong every time he got his predictions wrong. The host of Take It to the Table, Chaos. How you doing, bro?
What's good? What's good? Happy Monday, everybody. It's WrestleMania weekend has come to a close, and we got a lot to talk about, especially on night 2. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some divisive opinions on certain matches, but I'm glad to be here with y'all, and can't wait to get straight to it. So let's go.
Let's get into it, and let's get into what started last night. Triple threat. The title was on the line. Champion Io Sky versus Rhea Bloody Ripley and the EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair. And I had my reservations in regards to Multi-Man Mania. I'm not gonna lie. That was my big clip last week that went a little viral, that people saying I was boo-boo and crying and whatnot. But I think the story of this weekend is the triple threat matches were the highlights of all WWE programming. You talk about Stand and Deliver with Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams. You talk about night 1, Seth, Roman, and Punk. And then you talk about last night, and what I thought was arguably match of the night and contender of match of the weekend, whatever you want to call it. Io, Bianca, and Rhea, they put on an absolute clinic of a match. Man, you really see how great each one of these superstars is at professional wrestling. And I love that they kind of continued, personally in my mind, the psychology of this storyline with Rhea and Bianca really going up and at it against each other. And they keep forgetting that there's an additional person in that match. And they keep sleeping on Io. And Io came out victorious with the W and still champion. Man, I enjoyed it. Chaos, I want to know your thoughts, though. Obviously, being able to do the whole watch along, which I did yesterday, it is tiresome. But how'd you think about the opening match last night for night 2 with the Io, Bianca, and Rhea match?
Yeah, man. I loved it. It was absolutely amazing. I feel like they definitely showed people at the back, or especially us fans, why they were a worthy contender to be one of the main events of Mania. I think definitely it was a main event type match. The chemistry between all three of them were great. And it was just there was no sloppiness. It was just very nice and tight. And I can't really fault it. They definitely were. You could tell by the way they were going at each other. They were just like, oh, we're not going to be one of the main events, even though fans have been crying out for this. All right, well, we're gonna set a certain level for everyone else to match up. And it was great. I'm happy with the winner. Io Sky. Obviously it gives that premise that she was meant to be the third wheel, and then there's this bigger match between Bianca and Rhea that's meant to be happening. But yeah, she held her own, showed that why she's the champ. And everyone's complaining, oh, Bianca should have been able to keep the streak going. I mean, like, there's no real streak to really be happening. If I recall, I think she's already lost a match already at Mania. If I recall, I can't remember something. But yeah, like it was a good showing from all three of them. And just what happens from here. That's the most curious. That's the most intriguing thing part right now, because Io still got that status that Rhea has never beaten her, and she's the world champion, and rightly deserve it. So yeah, I'm here for it. Great start to the show. Crowd was hot as well, and we just have to see what happens after tonight. See where it goes for all three of them, really.
That's my major intrigue as well, is what is the direction for all three of these women, the champ and the challengers. It's like it's kind of like with night one with Flair losing. I mean, I'm interested to see what Rhea Ripley is without being around the title for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see what storylines we could create. I don't even mind them two feuding without the title. Bianca and Rhea having a big time one-on-one feud, one-on-one match without the title involved. Like, I feel like that score still has to be settled. And yeah, man, Io is so damn talented. Mm-hmm. Like, that woman is so good at this wrestling art. It's absolutely crazy. We do have a lot of comments. We're gonna stick with the comments to this topic. I see y'all kind of fighting with each other while we was having technical difficulties. Let's come on, man. We all family here at WR, guys. Let's not be mean to each other and whatnot. But we'll start with number one Superfly saying the women's world championship was an excellent match, and in my opinion, best match of the entire weekend. All three ladies delivered. It's up there, man. Like, I honestly, the three matches that I said triple threat wise in the WWE ballpark, I think those are like the three matches of my favorite ones of this weekend in regards to it. Fernando also says that match was definitely match of the night. Sean Ellis saying Io Sky showed she is not playing around and is a great fighting champion. Respect for all three women for giving us a 5-star great match.
It was rated 5 stars on WR as well.
Yeah, after us, having to, jump Kobe, we all had to, punch him a couple times and whatnot. He in Vegas probably, he probably lost all his money at the casino, probably went crazy at the strip club, drank his liver away. It's okay, Kobe. It's still a 5-star match. It's all right, buddy. Just joking. And then David Maj saying that he really thought Rhea was going to win. He didn't expect Io, spelled horribly wrong by you, David Maj. It is okay. It's written right over there. David, another David, good segue. What is your thoughts on the match yesterday? Obviously, we have been very critical on Mania, but was this a match that you thought delivered, and just overall thoughts of it?
Well, I think if we look at the pantheon of WrestleMania opening matches, we talk about the storied legacy of WrestleMania openers. I think Brett versus Owen, Mania 10, is the first one that a lot of people go to. You also look at Daniel Bryan Triple H is a corker. Rhea versus Charlotte is a corker from 36 Night 2. You have Shane versus AJ is in there, and there's loads more that I've just completely blanked on. I know that for a fact. Seth versus Drew, really, really good match from last year. with the utmost respect to Brett and Owen, which I think is a fantastic match, I think this is the best opening match in the history of Mania. I genuinely think that this is the most exciting, best worked match that has ever opened the show. Brett and Owen obviously had the story that this didn't have. I will completely give it that. That was a incredible brother versus brother story. That match is lives on in Mania legacy. But I think in terms of work rate, I think this was better. I love this so much. I love all three women. I think they're all absolutely fantastic. I think it's in conversation for the best women's match in WrestleMania history. I think, ironically, if you were to ask me what my personal best would be, I'd give you three. I'd give you Bianca versus Sasha, Bianca versus Becky, and Rhea versus Bianca versus Io. Bianca's quite a good wrestler, if you don't know. But yeah, three phenomenal women. I love the intensity. I love the strong style stuff. Rhea booting. I think it was Bianca out of the sky. You had the bit with Rhea and Bianca in the middle with the slaps. Io just so brilliant and coming in and playing spoiler so many times perfectly. Love the finish with the reverse Alabama onto the steel, and then that being the red herring for the KOD into the moonsault. Just really fantastic wrestling. And, after a night one that I thought, main event aside, was broadly very disappointing, this brought my energy levels up so much, and I was thrilled to see it. I don't know what happens next. I'm just going to let them do their thing. Io Sky's the champion. She's one of, if not the best women's wrestler in the world. So she can have bangers with a mop, and I'm sure she will, have many, many more to come this year. I think same with Rhea, same with Bianca. Just three of the best women in WWE, probably the three best women in WWE, putting on a match that matched my unbelievably lofty expectations. Absolutely brilliant match.
And that raises the question of that's such a strong three women to have on a roster in general. And I'm glad you gave Bianca that credit, because I don't know what's going on with the boos from a lot of the people in the crowd.
I think it's because I honestly think there are hints of that Bianca heel turn coming through, and I think the crowd are kind of going with it.
You saw a bit of it, how she was talking and mouthing off to Rhea in the middle of it too. You know what? This is kind of well needed, even if it's not a full blown heel turn. That was kind of a little bit of an edge that Bianca had when she was in NXT compared to when she initially first came onto the scene on the main roster, where she was as white meat baby face as you could cut it to be.
Yeah. I also think when you've got three faces in a triple threat match, like we did last night. No, it's last night, Saturday night. God, the rest, the weekends all blurring together. When you have, with both triple threat, they were all face versus face versus face. So you needed those different dynamics. And I think having Bianca booed, I think she was probably just because Io and Rhea are so popular. And ultimately, her being booed kind of helped it, because it gave that little bit of extra intensity, little bit of extra edge. And yeah, like I said, I think that the dynamics worked brilliantly, and Bianca played into it perfectly. It was just fantastic stuff.
And I also feel like the crowd is still kind of giving her that little side eye regarding Naomi, because even I don't really. There's something up. I still feel there's something up. Something is about to happen regarding that. So yeah, I think this is a combination of all those things.
Yeah, I do think with Bianca there will be some sort of direction towards the Jade and Naomi storyline. Maybe they have a triple threat. Who knows? But
I'll be here for it.
I'll be here. I'll be there for that too. I think that would be a great match. And I think, Bianca Belair, she may not be the Undertaker in regards to streaks on Mania, but like David said, she is Mrs. Mania till further notice in regards to match quality, because she don't miss on matches. She definitely does have high quality.
I thought that was Charlotte. Wasn't she coined that? Wasn't she coined at one point? She was Miss WrestleMania.
Yeah, she coined it, but I mean, how many of those matches do we really realize?
I mean, it's
true.
I mean, think about it like this. I'm taking the triple, and you know what? This goes back to my point when I said I think the talent of these three women, and I'm calling them the big three for now, just because it kind of rolls off the tongue well. The pure talent could be it could surpass what we have with the 4 horsewomen. If like these 3 women continuously extend this trajectory that they do in the WWE, obviously stuff like Io's done prior to that should solidify her in the wrestling history books from her work in Japan and whatnot. But just looking at Io on a landscape in the WWE from NXT till she got called up, like they've kept her in the title picture. She didn't have 2 title matches going into a Mania as world champ 2 years in a row. You know, so like they definitely view her in that landscape, and she's talented to be in that landscape.
I mean, she came in 36 was her first Mania. I don't think she wrestled on that. I think she was managing. I think she managed the Profits. 37 was
Royal,
Sasha.
right?
37 was Sasha.
Didn't they say she had a battle royal she lost? Wasn't that the pandemic? I don't remember.
Well, she not to my memory, because
Like
36.
it was like a pre-show. I don't
was she in the Mae Young one in like 34, 35, possibly?
Yeah, they still count that apparently. Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to tell you what, when you're talking about Priest McIntyre, I'll look it up. But I mean, 37 was the Sasha match, 38 was the Becky match, 39 was a massive sleeper hit against Asuka. Really liked that match.
40 was the
40 I thought was naff. I think 40 was I did like the 6-woman tag she was in, but that is what it is, not her fault. And then 41 is this. So that's a hell of a resume considering she's only been going 5 years.
There's a lot of bangers in that route. And also I will say this before we get to the next topic. I'm just glad that they all came out with so much swagger to their entrances, because I thought the entrances on night 1 lacked so much. That's where I felt like night 1 didn't feel very Mania-esque till we got to the main event, because like everyone had pretty like basic entrances, where last night they set the tone and it kind of continued throughout the entire night. But yeah, all in all, man, phenomenal match. Kudos to those 3 women, and I'm tuned in to Raw tonight to kind of see what the next direction will be into the storyline. Let's go to another match, and this happened right after that. And this was a match that had an extensive storyline, and it was a Vegas street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. And again, I liked this match a lot. I think we continued hot on night 2 going into this match. A lot of crazy table spots. A lot of crazy table spots. The one specific table spot that was dropped into the 2 tables for Priest. Drew trolling with the phone, taking a selfie that his brother gave him and whatnot. Man, it was a lot going on in that. And physical as it could be, I think these guys came to prove a point as well, just because the critics were out there. But overall, I personally liked it. Chaos, I want to ask you in regards to this match. How'd you feel about Drew and Priest going into it? Do you think it lived up? Do you think it overlived the relatively low expectations a lot of people had into it?
If there was actually low expectations, I'm quite surprised to it, because I know there was a lot of eye rolls going on. Priest is going to be facing McIntyre again when we got it. Previously when Priest was champion. And to be fair, at one point I was one of those people. I was like, why are you running back Priest and McIntyre? But I felt like they definitely salvaged it over the past couple of weeks. Definitely made it worth almost just a little short from a blood feud, but that definitely made you really want to care. But yeah, I loved it. It was great. The entrances were interesting, with Drew McIntyre coming out as Doom Guy for the new game, and Priest coming out with his guitarist that is playing his theme music. Was pretty cool. But yeah, the match was good. I kind of, even though sometimes we do roll our eyes over these like gimmick matches, I still kind of wish they kind of played into it. Like I was totally expecting a casino table with all the chips and all that stuff being used, and they go right into it. I was hoping it would be more interactive with the crowd. I thought they were just going to be just brawling everywhere, but it really felt like they played it safe. You know, not even on episodes of Raw they play safe. They usually go around the crowd and stuff and have these different stuff. And I would have accepted it in this one because it was a Sin City street fight. But at the end, it was just that just by name. But yeah, it's not to the point where it wasn't a detriment to the match. It was still hard hitting, still was good. Some innovative ways of using weapons, and the finish. My goodness, I never seen the Claymore being used in that sort of way. Not in WWE at least. So yeah, I was surprised that McIntyre won, but I am not mad at it. He's had a great year. He's one of the definitely most reliable superstars the past 12 months. And yeah, like he needed something after the madness that he had from last year's Mania. So but I thought that it was just so high on Priest. I thought they would have given it to him. But yeah, none of them are gonna be buried after this match. I think there's definitely more meat on the bone for this feud as well. So yeah, I was still on high at the end of this. It was still good. Crowd was again still hot for this. And yeah, I was awake. So yeah, I loved it. So yeah, no complaints here.
Yeah, we need to see if Damian Priest got CTE from the chair last night, because I was like, that joint look a little rough, man. I hope he's okay after that. But no, I definitely agree. I think they wrestled to a point to prove too. I think Drew, obviously the great work that he's done, a lot of people was hoping that he would maybe be part of a main event, whatever it may be. But there's a lot of time for him to build himself up, and he's a diligent worker. So we will see what happens. Let's go to the next match. And this was the Intercontinental 4-Way. This continued the great matches going on tonight, too. This is one of my favorite matches of the weekend. We had the champion, Braun Breaker, going absolutely ape shit last night. My God, that boy is crazy. We had Penta on Green Ranger mode. We had Finn Balor looking like a banana, the yellow mask. Looking kind of funny, and then we had the new champion, Dominic Mysterio. I really like this 4-Way. I think all styles meshed beautifully together. I loved all the craziness in it. Like I mentioned, Braun Breaker is just a human highlight reel. The athletic ability that he has is out of this world. And we had the ending, man. We had Dominic Mysterio getting the win, but also pinning Finn Balor to be champ. And I love the moment personally of him running back up the rampway to celebrate, and the fans cheering him, just so happy. This is a guy that was getting nuclear heat, and now he's a fan favorite. My oh my, how times change. But it was a great match. David, I'll ask you, man, what were your thoughts in regards to this fatal 4-Way and our new Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio?
Bananas in pajamas, he's coming to eat pins. Anyway, yes, I'm gonna resist that one. Yeah, Finn looks stupid. He looked like he was about to go and do the washing up. With that said, sleeper hit of the whole weekend. Oh, I love this match so much. This was a perfect 4-Way for what it needed to be. I mean, you had Penta in there doing crazy stuff. You had Braun, who's just a freak of nature, and Finn and Dom, who kept the story together so brilliantly. This had great wrestling. It had great storytelling. I think it made all four guys look better. All four guys came out looking better than they did when they went in. Like I said, Braun is just magnificent. I actually really enjoyed all the Carlito stuff. I enjoyed Carlito just being a constant menace in the ring. I loved the fact that Dominic Mysterio has managed to basically turn himself into a modern day Eddie Guerrero, the guy that will lie and cheat and steal his way to win, and we'll all cheer him immensely for it. Dom's had a fantastic rise for the last few years, and it continued again here. Yeah, I really thought this was incredible. And this was the point where 3 matches in, and we've had banger, followed by banger, followed by banger, to quote our good friend Sheamus. And at this point, I put a message in the chat saying, If it continues this pace, we're on for an all-time Mania. Unfortunately, I don't think we held there, and we'll get on to why later. But possibly some of the phenomenal 3-match stretch, and this to me, I think, will be the match that will go under the radar because of the triple threat matches. But I love this immensely.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think this match rose to the occasion, and the moment for Dom, man, like this is a guy that on record, I'll say hasn't at times. I didn't see what the potential was, right? But you can tell the guy has really honed into his strengths and his craft, and he's really created himself a great character to what this is a well-deserved moment for him. I ask both of y'all this before we get to the next topic. Braun Breaker. This has to mean he is going in the World Heavyweight Championship picture, right? I'll start with you, Chaos, real quickly. What do you think?
Maybe. I think if anything, I would rather put him for the Money in the Bank. I would love to see him. You know, that's a big step. That's a big place to do it. It's going to be in Los Angeles. I think someone like, even though he probably won't need it, I definitely feel like I'd rather see him like not just automatically go for that. I think he could definitely just take your time with it, make him hold it for a bit, and then cash in on whoever is going to win. So I would say make him with Money in the Bank and then go for the championship that way. I still feel like there's still meat on the bone regarding Gunther and Jay. I feel so. Yeah.
David.
I also agree. I would also give him the Money in the Bank. I think do what they did with Gunther last year. Let him go through a different path. Obviously, that was King of the Ring. We don't know if King of the Ring is coming back. We've not heard anything about King of the Ring coming back. It should, by the way. It's foolish if they don't bring it back. But absolutely, I think Braun. You either have Braun win King of the Ring if they bring it back, or have him win Money in the Bank. I think there's a lot more mileage in that story.
Yeah. King of the Ring as well is a good shout. Very good shout.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. Money in the Bank. He would definitely be, I guess, an early favorite. My cat is tweaking right now. Get off.
Love me.
That's all she was doing yesterday during the watch along. But yeah, let's. You know what? We are in a good space right now for the division. We'll see what's up for Dom next too. All right, Chaos. Say his name, and he'll appear. It looks like everybody at WrestleMania believed last night. Randy Orton had an open challenge, and the challenge was open to one TNA World Champion, Joseph Hendry. Wow, this caught me by surprise. It had me hyped. You can see the clip online of me, Jordy, and Drizzy reacting. It was a fun little sprint. Gave Joe Hendry a little bit of a moment. I thought this was for the vibes. I loved the RKO last night of him hitting the pose and then Randy hitting the RKO and then Randy hitting the pose and going into his signature pose as well. But as a Joe Hendry super fan that you are, my good man, what are your thoughts on the match?
So look, all right, I'll try and make this a bit longer than whatever that runtime of that match was. Anyway, all right, first off, I don't have anything against Joe Hendry. All right, it was a good platform for the TNA champion to be a part of, and let's be real, like this all kind of like sprung up on them in the space of a couple weeks. And let's be real, there's no one that is not major. Sorry, excuse me, that they could call upon to fill in this spot. They were set in well into this program with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. This unfortunately sprung up on them, and they had to obviously work with what they have. Joe Hendry, obviously huge, hella popular. Look, you saw him get a huge pop at Mania. But keep in mind, though, that is also an international crowd. Sure, he's obviously been at NXT, and he's got a little bit of following there, and obviously with the TNA and crossover and all that stuff. I just felt like this was just a bad showing for the main champion of TNA, especially regarding the crossover promotion that they have. Sure, it was fun. It was funny for what it was, and like I said, it's good promotion for TNA. I just felt like it was just an unfortunate situation to showcase your promotion's champion. You know, like if I was owner of TNA, I would be kind of fuming in a way. Sure, probably Joe Hendry didn't mind it because at the end of the day, he's gonna be at WrestleMania. It wouldn't have happened if Kevin Owens didn't have this this unfortunate injury. But yeah, it was just laughable. And like I said, it was. I mean, who else could they brought back? Obviously, everyone's saying it was going to be Rusev, or they're going to probably. I heard someone's going to going to push forward the Aleister Black return. But yeah, like Joe Hendry, they did what they could. It just it was just just unfortunate for it to be the main champion of that promotion to be shown in the battle live. But I agree, the RKO, I know it was perfect camera work. You can't get any better than that. And yeah, it was fine for what it was. I just felt bad for TNA and being the TNA World Champion, but it is what it is. It was a fun moment. He did what he did.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I highly disagree with you on that.
Fair enough. I mean,
because I agree with what you say, Chaos. Ironically, I did want to say one thing though, just quickly. I know that this is Chaos, but regardless of what you think of the match, regardless of what you think of the wrestler, the story of Joe Hendry over the last year is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was doing the UK Indies, has been doing the UK Indies for many years, was doing solid, okay mid-card work. You know, good, decent mid-card work in TNA. Obviously, Hard to Kill last year, it was the stuff with AJ Francis and, you know, doing those sort of lower level stuff. Then his song goes viral, and you know, this is not a case of a flash in the pan who's just magically got it over. He knows exactly what he's doing. Joe Hendry knows exactly how to market, exactly how to get all of this. And all of a sudden, you just watch this man just build and build and build up the TNA card over to NXT. In the Rumble, he wins the world title, and now he's at Mania in front of 60,000 people. For a guy that, you know, wrestled in the UK Indies doing parodies of, you know, Living on a Prayer, a couple, you know, just as a year or two ago, the rise is astonishing, and it is an inspirational story to any independent wrestler in the world. That if you know what you're doing and you are good and talented enough, you can climb those ranks. Be it by a mixture of luck and talent, you can get there. It's a brilliant story. It was great to see it.
You know what? I'll backtrack a second because I think you are right in a sense. That was monumental for Joe Hendry, and I think he
100%.
wins on all platforms. But that speaks on TNA more than anything. Like, you kind of do get the light in a sense, but I look at Joe Hendry, and it's literally the same exact situation as Jordan Grace. He is just counting the days, minutes, seconds till his TNA contract is done before he goes to the WWE. Like, the WWE has and that is a big reason why I was talking about the whole TNA partnership. I think a lot of it is an avenue because they saw a cash cow in those two people, and they want to get those two people on their roster. One of them is already on there. The other one is following.
It was just hilarious. Also, like I think I posted in the GC as well that it was also the same day that Triple H beat Taz for the East, who was at the time the ECW champion. And he just won it from Mike Awesome, who said when he underrated, like he deceivingly signed for WCW or whatever it was. So it was just like, you know, you're meant to be this partnership, but you just end up squashing the person that is meant to be the face of that partner, of the person you're working with. So
I wouldn't call it a squash. Hendry got all his big moves in aside from his finish. But I agree with you that it was, you know, it was one RKO and you're done. Plays the hits, RKO, you're finished. I didn't expect any more than that, so I didn't have any. As soon as he came out, I went, this is probably going to go 3 minutes.
I thought he was just going to hit him with the RKO out the gate and close.
Yeah, that too.
Close shop.
When he came out, I thought, he's dead.
Yeah,
like,
they did give Hendry something. It's just, you know, the thing is, and I also said this in the group chat last night, with respect to both guys, I love Hendry, I love Orton as characters and as personalities. I don't want to watch them exchange headlocks for 15 minutes because neither of them are that interesting to me in the ring. Hendry's not that interesting to me in the ring. Orton's, neither of them are bad wrestlers. They're both very technically proficient, but I don't really get on board with either of them in the ring. So
very safe.
Have it be quick, hit all your hey, all your favorites, big bang, 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 move on to the next thing. Worked for me, but I agree with you.
Yeah. Hey, man, needless to say, cool little, word that Triple H's favorite word. The word of today is pivot. They had to pivot for a second in my Mark Briscoe voice. Yes, by the way, this bruh is commenting mad times. Yes, Sean Ellis, you predicted in the comments yesterday before it happened. Congratulations, bro. Do you want a cookie? Do you want me to find you the most local cookie store in Hawaii? And do you need me to I'm not going to, but I would have Grubhubbed you a cookie if you needed it that badly, bro. Congrats. Good job. Hope it makes you sleep better at night. We also have DC Warlord saying he called it as well. Guess he gets a cookie too. Guitar Co is saying while the backlash is in about 2 weeks, any card predictions? We're gonna do prediction card shows probably
I'll get
within
to
the next.
I'll get to one and why I hate it.
All right, get one match. Go one. When do y'all give one match?
No, I was gonna say we'll get to that when I get to Cody Cena, because I
Okay.
feel like we have to watch a match far more boring than the one we just watched, which seems impossible. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
It is in St. Louis, and Randy is from there, so hint, hint, he will probably be on the card. Speaking of TNA, arguably the GOAT of TNA, maybe next to
It's not arguably.
he is the GOAT of TNA. AJ Styles, one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of our time. And I can't state that enough. The man is remarkable at his craft. Had a match versus everyone's favorite asshole, I guess, or everyone's least favorite asshole. I don't think people really like him. The man in his prime, due to his bottles of
Pun intended.
Yeah. Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Let me say this, and I would give one positive about Logan Paul. His entrance was freaking dope.
Yeah.
His entrance was freaking dope. Man, the drone and then the drone shot with all the camera angles on it, that joint was super dope. And the pulverizer is a pretty dope finisher. Besides that, he got a win over AJ Styles. And it just makes me so sad. I walked off after the match was done, and I knew it was gonna happen, but it still frustrates me because I don't know, man. AJ Styles shouldn't be losing to people like Logan Paul, but how AJ Styles is positioned in the current day of pro wrestling, it doesn't surprise me. But David, I gotta ask you: does it surprise you? Thoughts on the match, the whole 9 yards?
No, it doesn't surprise me that Logan won. I always expected him to win, if I'm honest. I think Logan, from their perspective, needed a win because he's not won in a great deal of matches. So he needed the win over Styles, and they tried to protect him with the finish with Karrion Kross. Look, I've made my feelings on Logan Paul very, very clear. I have no interest in him as a person. I think he's a pretty massive scumbag, and so I'm quite happy to not have him on TV, but he is on TV and the match happened. So I'm going to review it objectively, regardless of, my feelings on Logan. I'm just going to review what I saw. I know I have a friend who just refused to watch the match and was watching Botchamania instead, so while they waited for the next one. Fair play. I completely understand. I have to watch it. It's my job. I think that the match was actually really good. I think people have complained it was just a series of moves. Yeah, they were really good moves, and they were very proficient moves. And I enjoyed Logan showboating, and I enjoyed Styles' fire when he was hyping himself up in the corner. I think the only real big mistake, and I think they could have foreseen it, was I don't think the Karrion Kross coming out was great. I don't think Karrion Kross coming out and trying to plead with AJ, which was great. AJ decking him and punching him in the face just caused the crowd to boo because Karrion is in Karrion's home state and he's very over there and is very over generally because he's doing great work. So I think the crowd just didn't really know what to do, and they went very quiet, and then there were sort of low rumbling boos, and then you went into the finish, and so it felt really flat. I actually think, just don't have him hit, do a different way of making that spot work. But I enjoyed the match. As a piece of wrestling, I thought it was very, very strong. I understand that there is no emotional investment from me because, frankly, I don't like nor care about Logan Paul at all, and not in a wrestling fun way. And I'm done with Logan. But the match itself, if I'm reviewing it as a critic, I thought was very, very good.
Yeah, and I don't deny that the match itself was going to be a pretty sound match. Logan Paul is not a bad worker. He does his job well enough. I mean, as a guy who's not a pro wrestler per se, and being a quasi celebrity for whatever reason they may be, I mean, he takes his job serious. He's athletically gifted for the role. So I mean, it's solid.
No, don't get me wrong. I've said it plenty of times before, and even though after his tweet today, I might have to retract this. But he's like Kanye West. I like him as the artist. I hate him as a person. But I might have to find someone else, because if you see what Kanye West has been saying today, Jesus Christ. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, we good on Ye. We are definitely good on Ye. There's some crazy comments. We'll get to the main event, but Cody in the back. Come on, bro. Stop it.
You had to say it.
That joint just is so random. Oh, Bad Bunny and Travis Scott. All right. Let's in the words of Triple H, pivot for a quick second, because we have an ad read to make. And I want to specifically talk about the good people at Etsy. If you have a iPhone, go to the App Store. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store and download the Etsy app. It is a very, very fun application that allows you to communicate with a lot of your favorite content creators like us at the Wrestling Republic, as well as the good brother Takes and the homie Ant. Yo, it is a super sound place to just kind of shoot the shit with people. If you want to tell me I'm wrong every time, you could actually get on camera and do so. You can communicate in the comments, whatever it may be. We go live every weekend. We're going to probably talk about this week coming in to pro wrestling post-Mania. So definitely hop on that, click the upcoming stream section, and you will find us there. It is a good place to be. Let's talk about my GOAT, the GOAT of all GOATs, returning back into the world of pro wrestling. If you don't remember, I was on Take It to the Table on a debate panel talking about a Miss Becky Lynch. And she's been gone for a while, you know. She's been raising her baby girl. She's been doing what she got to do. But she returned last night, teaming up with Lyra Valkyria. And the Irish women beat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to become new tag team women's champion. The big topic after this is obviously what has transpired to how we got here. Bayley, obviously the original tag team partner with Lyra, got written off for whatever reason they may be. I'm not here to say what is true or what not, but at the moment it looks like she got written off for Becky to make her return. Triple H even said in the press conference that Bayley's a good sport, whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? She's a true professional at it. But a lot of people are 50-50 on it. There's a lot of excitement for it being Becky Lynch, and a lot of people angry that she came back and won a title. But me personally, I'm happy. I'm glad. We got Lyra 2 belts right now. NXT, we continue to win. But my biasness aside, I want to know what y'all think. Chaos, you looking at me like I'm crazy, bro. What are your thoughts on it?
What you gonna do, bro? Anyway, no. Yeah, this overall, I feel bad for Bayley. However, I do feel like they're going to do something. I hope that they do something regarding, because there is something that they could actually, use to, bring into the storyline regarding Lyra Valkyria. So before I get into that, the match was solid. You know, it was, I think the writing was on the wall. Everyone pretty much called it. I don't think it was anyone else. I mean, it would have been funny if it would have been like Trish Stratus or Lita or something in that regard, if they really wanted to just divert everyone's expectations. But yeah, clearly I think Becky was waiting for a time when, you know, something creative was going to come out, and you know, this is the second time she's come back after a long hiatus and win a title the same night. Nothing against that. I mean, you know, it could be someone worse, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of jumped off the Becky Lynch hype train ever since she became Becky Two Belts. So yeah, the return didn't really do anything for me. She was still solid, you know, everyone, and she got a great pop. But yeah, my concern is what's going to go on regarding her and between Lyra and Bayley, and like why I mean regarding Bayley, even though I like to think that this is obviously a storyline situation. What it could do is that use that as ammunition to give Bayley a reason to really turn against Lyra, because there's been multiple times that she has been so close to getting a championship and she keeps on failing. She couldn't get the women's championship. She couldn't get the IC title during the tournament, and she faced Lyra for the title, didn't win, and now she got sidelined for the tag team title. So that might be just frustration. She's so close to the finish line, but she just keeps on failing. And, you know, she might just be envious, maybe jealous, if you will, you know, and, you know, on top of that, she's got one of the 4 horsewomen as a tag team champion. So that will definitely annoy her. But yeah, it's fine for what it was. I want to see what's going on with regarding Bayley, if they're going to even revisit it or just go bypass it. But yeah, I'm happy for Lyra. She's Lyra 2 belts. And yeah, that's what I can gotta say about that. I feel bad for Liv and Raquel, because I was really hoping they were gonna win. And then that's when, if Bayley was still there, she would have turned on Lyra out of frustration. They couldn't get it. So there was 2 possibilities today they could have used, but we'll see.
And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I probably would have booked Liv and Raquel to retain, just because I really like them as a unit in the team. They feel like an actual tag team, the dynamic and whatnot. And I think Liv is a person who is very popular, and a lot of people sometimes kind of look past the popularity and don't give her the flowers of what she does in regards as a superstar. I think she's a very good wrestler, and I think she does her character work really well too. But we'll wait and see what happens. All right, let's get to the main event. Let's cut the bullshit, guys. Let's get to this damn main event, because we had Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, number 17 on the line for John Cena to break. Cody Rhodes, our world champion, finished his story a year before, and he lost. And he lost because he was being too much of a good guy. He had too much heart. He had too much merit. He didn't want to cheat. He was faithful to the game, even though the game done effed him over many times. I don't know. Cody, what's going on, good brother? I'm highly confused. It was a very, very solid match, in my opinion. I like the pacing of it, but that finish has a lot of people in the entire world kind of scratching their head. Not to mention, Travis Scott didn't get a louder reaction than Bad Bunny got a reaction with his song. So was Bad Bunny really more over than Travis Scott to the world? He might be, but David, I know you are ready to talk about this. So go ahead, good brother. The floor is yours.
Go.
I thought this was wretched. Absolutely wretched. Okay, let's dig into this whole thing. So I want to start with context. I am not the biggest John Cena fan. I never have been. Okay, I started watching wrestling in 2011. I was never a Cena guy. I grew some level of respect during the US Open Challenge section, sort of 2015 to 2017 period of the career. I quite enjoyed his work. Even then, I had major problems. I've never enjoyed the way Cena lays out matches. I've never enjoyed the way that Cena just shout spots so that everyone up on the top of the balcony can hear him. I don't enjoy the way he sells. I don't enjoy the way he moves. I'm just not a Cena guy. I'm going to preface it by saying that. Okay, I am a massive Cody guy. Love Cody Rhodes. So the first thing I'll say is I really loved Cena's entrance. Loved the Cena entrance with the stripped back approach. That was all great. I thought Cody's BMX's motorbikes were a bit naff, but I thought the mask was sort of interestingly camp and whatever. The crowd were obviously massively pro Cena and then massively anti Cody, but then they sometimes booed it. And the LA crowd or the Vegas crowd, so I knew what they wanted here. My big problem was I thought the match was turgidly boring. And I appreciate that I think it was turgidly boring on purpose. I think the idea was to slow everything down, make Cena, work this style. The problem is for me is that I don't enjoy watching Cena work mostly at the best of times. So watching him work all of his usual style but at half speed was interminable to sit through. But I understand that is what they're building. I also think a lot of it was sloppy as well. But I also think that what they're building to there is you do that to then build to the amazing sequences at the end. You have these long, quite dull, drag out chin locks, all the rest of it, the workover spots to build to the exciting climax. Then we got a large period of essentially just AA spamming, kicked out of 4, I think, at the end, which was very silly. And then the finish with Travis Scott taking 85 years to get to the ring. And then, before we actually get to the Travis Scott thing, I think that the whole psychology of the match was completely backwards because you mean to tell me that, he's been hit with 4 AAs. Cody has to hit 3 a month to win his regular matches, but one crossroads, a single crossroads, is enough to knock Cena out for the count of 10. In wrestling psychology is very, very stupid. Anyway, Travis Scott comes out and the whole thing grinds to a halt. We wait and wait and wait and wait. We have the crossroads spot. Travis Scott seems to completely sandbag Cody, and then a really underwhelming finish, a low blow, a belt shot, and that's your lot. That's your Mania main event. I think The Rock not showing up was diabolical to the story. I mean, it feels like I don't think this was ever the plan. I feel as though the plan was for Cena to turn at Mania, because that seems to be what the whole story up until the Elimination Chamber was building to, and then all of a sudden Cena wins the Chamber, then turns in an amazing angle. It's an incredible angle with The Rock and Travis Scott, but then The Rock disappears and doesn't show up. Cena's barely there for the next month. Travis Scott doesn't show up again until Mania, so the whole thing falls apart. But that's fine if The Rock shows up here. By him not showing up here, it makes the whole angle worthless. It makes his involvement pointless. It makes it meaningless, and it ultimately achieves nothing, because if John Cena had to sell his soul to The Rock, what's he gained from it? What has he actually gained from selling his soul to The Rock? Because he won the Chamber, so we had the Mania match anyway. He didn't have to get the Mania match through The Rock. He got the spot in the Chamber, won the Chamber. The Rock's not helped him at all. Travis Scott was useless because he's a celebrity and not a wrestler. So ultimately, Cena's gained nothing. And my frustration is that I hope that the crowd universally turning on Cody was just because it was Vegas and not because there is a fundamental problem. But the fact is, when your opponent is John Cena, the crowd are going to cheer you unless you do what Cena's tried to do to get booed, which was ruin the match and make it really just as slow and as uninteresting as possible to try and draw that crowd out. It just completely lost me. And I get so angry because the fact is, I'm looking at it. I keep getting told Cena's trying to ruin professional wrestling, and that's the story they're telling. And I keep being told by defenders of this match well, it's bad on purpose. The match is bad on purpose. The finish is bad on purpose. The story, is underwhelming on purpose. You're basically being worked. I think if we are being worked, and that's a really shockingly bad work, because you're basically just telling your audience, I don't really care about you as fans. You'll take what we give you. We're going to make the main event of every show for the next month turgid to sit through. And the thing is, Cena as a heel is a novelty now. Like, once is a novelty. Next month, he's going to face Randy Orton, probably. And we're going to get that match Already, typically a slow match between Cena and Orton, the usual stuff, but slower and more boring. And I fear that we're going to get that every month for the rest of the year. And I think it could ruin Cena's retirement. Because I think what could end up happening is that we all just hate Cena matches for a year. Which, whether you like Cena or not, that's a shame. I do have some level of respect for Cena. I want Cena to go out on top. So I'm so frustrated because I wanted the Cena heel turn to be great, and then I'm watching him do the 3 moves that he knows because he can't really do anything else while yelling his spots from high heaven, and I completely lose the care. Ultimately, what should have happened is the Travis Scott thing should have been far quicker. You should have had the music play and Travis Scott appear from behind um, Rhodes and knock him out with something into an AA for a near fall. Then I would have had Cody hit the crossroads on Travis. Then I would have had Cena try to go with the belt, have the belt be caught from Cody, and Cody just start pummeling Cena. Give in to that anger that has been the whole part of the build, but the crowd's turned on Cody. Cody can't get love from the only thing that he's driven by, so he turns it on Cena and he beats him, beats him, beats him, and beats him. And then Cena does the beg off. Cody realizes I've gone too far, and that's when Cena pounces with a low blow, the belt shot, AA, and the win. Because what ended up happening was Cody just felt like an idiot. It was stupid, dumb babyface syndrome for, oh, should I not? When we've gone past that part of the story 2 months ago with Kevin Owens at the Rumble. It's insulting storytelling, and the fact that The Rock's not there, the fact that none of it felt like it had the appropriate level of pomp and circumstance to it, or the correct level of story, I think is a massive disservice to anything this match could have been. I do think that it is one of the worst matches of Mania main events ever. Because of the expectations that had been set going in. Nobody thought Miz versus Cena was going to be any good. Nobody thought the Roman Reigns versus Triple H was going to be any good. But there was a lot of hope for this. And what I got was a boring 15 minutes that could have led to a more interesting 15 minutes, and then the match just stopped. I really didn't like this, and I am really scared for the next 9 months of storytelling. And I hope that I'm proved wrong and something interesting happens. But right now, all the signs to me point quite scarily in the negative. I didn't like it.
Yeah, and that was loaded. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I think one point that you had that I can definitely agree to a point is the ability of Cena's match qualities kind of being this, because that's just the pace that he's gonna work, and people maybe get tiresome of it. But it really depends how long the reign is and how many matches and feuds you give him. I was expecting the match to be overbooked just because it's Mania. We had a very overbooked match last year on night 2. I would have kind of went down the same rabbit hole just to. It's not a problem. You can do stuff like this to kind of fix the blemishes of what a superstar is. We knew The Rock wasn't going to be able to work a match like he was in 2002 last year at Mania, right? Like, I think situations like that can be kind of fixed for it. We're running overtime. I don't care, Ben. Sue me. Chaos, I want to know your thoughts on this main event as well, and then we'll read some comments after that.
Yeah, I feel like there's too much to really say without this being, another Take It to the Table episode, which I am looking to possibly do at some point this week. So be sure to look out for that. Cheap plug. So let's start with the positives. The entrance, beautifully done, simple, effective. You don't get. He literally lived up to it. He said, "You get nothing but just my name in Times New Roman, but in capitals and all black." Was beautiful. And yeah, it just had that cinematic feel. I agree with David. In fact, I agree with a lot of his points actually. The entrance for Cody was very weird and cringe with the motorbikes. Didn't bring nothing in relevance to the in fact, most of the themes, the gimmick special entrances for certain wrestlers for Mania didn't really bring anything special or didn't bring any relevancy. It was just an excuse to promote whatever sponsorship they have, and it felt a bit forced. And this one did. Don't get me wrong, the Iron Man mask was freaking awesome. I loved it. And we obviously got the Cody Vader. But yeah, I agree. It was definitely a typical Cena match. You know, like you said, Cena calling out the match, the spots to high heavens. And let's be real, it's been a long while since we've enjoyed a Cena match in when it's 1-on-1. The match with Austin Theory sucked ass. The one with Solo Sikoa, I'm pretty sure everyone just remembers the ending. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can give him a pass regarding the Rumble and Elimination Chamber because he has a lot of people to feed off of and be able to create a story with these, you know, these veterans, these people that's got experience and whatnot. So he can cover his you know, his ring rust, you know, his, you know, obviously he hasn't got that pep in his step anymore. But yeah, this one definitely was not one of his finest moments. And it's a shame because, like you said, there was a lot of stuff riding on this match, and it was just incredibly frustrating, especially from a storytelling point of view. The thing with Travis Scott, I mean, you try obviously justified for him to be there, but he didn't need to be there. I think he could just have been just a decoy to just do like a fake run in, and then Cena might take advantage, or maybe even The Rock eventually showing up. Because when I heard the Fiend theme, I was totally expecting it to just merge into the Final Boss theme that we got at Elimination Chamber. Didn't happen. Yeah, you got probably one of the worst overselling of a Crossroads ever. Travis Scott is not made for this business. I'm sorry. You have your excuses with you have your passes with Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, and whatnot. But yeah, he's just not ready for this. I said in the group chat that it felt very soap opera-ish. And David even called me out and saying that that's an insult to soap operas. And I was like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, like I said, it completely took me out when all of a sudden Cody all of a sudden has a heart when he didn't really have one. He just drove Kevin Owens through a ladder via Alabama Slam at the Royal Rumble. And everything else, we've gone way past that. Why is he all of a sudden having respect after he's been talking this big game over the past few weeks? You know what I mean? So it was really weird that he's all of a sudden feeling conflicted, really nullified everything that, you know, Cody Rhodes has been building himself up to be. And it was just really incredibly frustrating. But yeah, this all unfortunately goes back to The Rock. I said it in the group chat that, you know, this just pretty much just proves to me and to everyone else, in my opinion, that The Rock is an a-hole, and not just as the final boss character, just as a whole person, because he had no intention. He just wanted to be part of this monumental moment because he knew that, you know, this is a once in a lifetime thing regarding John Cena becoming heel. He just wanted to be a part of it. He had no end game. You know, he randomly showed up on SmackDown a couple weeks prior to do this random ass segment with Cody Rhodes. He just forced his way into it. He can because he's on the board, and it's just incredibly selfish. You know, you can make up an excuse. Like he's not bound to Hawaii or wherever the hell he was. He can do whatever he wants. He's got a private jet to just land anywhere, probably on top of the stadium if he wanted to. But he chose not to because he's got an ego the size of Kilimanjaro, when pretty much all your movies are flopping all to crap. You know, no one cares about your football league. And yeah, like you just don't have any respect for yourself. So I'm like, that's the frustrating thing for me as well. The fact that he just completely just showed up, just wanted to blow everything out the water. And this shows why The Rock didn't even mention, this shows that even Triple H didn't even mention The Rock in his Hall of Fame speech. You know, I don't think even Triple H even rates him because of the type of person that he is, and he's got this massive ego. I just don't respect it. So that's what really annoys me regarding this. But I agree regarding what David said. I'm kind of starting to fear a little bit what they're going to do with Cena regarding the next few months. But yeah, we just have to wait and see. I'm not one of them people saying I'm not going to watch Raw. I'm going to watch it. Like whether if I was reviewing it or being a fan, I'm still going to watch it. Like and see where they go from there. But yeah, it left a bit of a sour taste on such a great night too. It's unfortunate, but I'm happy that Cena won. He got the 17th, and that's all I got to say on that. So sorry if I rambled on a bit too much, but that's my thoughts on it.
Nah, look, there's only times on shows that we get to talk about something as monumental as Cena breaking that record. And so, you know, if I gotta take the lecture, I'll take the lecture from the boss man. It don't matter. But I do want to talk a couple Couple more minutes, and then we're gonna be off of this. I promise. Plus, we had these people waiting a little longer, so it's only right we give them an amazing show today.
Of course.
The thing is this, right? And I gotta touch on it too because y'all spoke about it. The Rock. In a week where I feel Triple H has done a lot more bad and been fair to be criticized, in a situation like this, I can say I have the sense of empathy for him, and I feel bad for him because for so to strong arm and completely derail the direction that you have spent months, years, weeks, whatever it may be on the storyline, that ain't fair. It really isn't fair. And I think Dwayne he's done a lot of that, especially his past appearances this year. Last year, different story. I think he was here for the whole time, and it benefited for Mania, and it benefited for the story within Roman and Cody and whatnot. The Cena stuff, Cena could have turned heel, and that was the shock value to it. You have so many people in the comments yesterday saying, oh, this is going to be a new NWO type of faction. Travis Scott will be like the Dennis Rodman celebrity standpoint. Who's going to be the third person? We've been fantasy booking something that was never going to happen. There was no faction being created, like at all. Literally, Cena is a very good heel. The character is very good. The build to this match was very good. The promo exchanges between them was very, very, very good. The match itself felt flat. And Cody Rhodes, at the end of the day, took the biggest L out of anything because Cena was going to get his moment regardless. I knew he was going to win yesterday. And I think that was kind of where it's the same shit with Jey Uso the night before. We just weaving our way till we get the moment because we want to see the moment. We don't care about the in-betweens for it. We just want to flash that moment because they're big on moments. But when the match, at least Jay and Gunther delivered a little bit on the match side. This match didn't give you a lot to love. It was solid, but the finish, it just made Cody look really, really weak, in my opinion. And it really
just dumb.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'll say
stupid.
this on the thing. Like, you know, I wasn't the biggest Jay and Gunther fan on night one, but I thought the match was solid. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they told the story they were trying to tell. It got a bit muddled, I thought, and I didn't love the tap out as quickly as they did. But I could at least see where the story was going, and the two guys are proficient enough to try. If just watching Cody sell really bad offense from Cena, and it's shoulder, it's lariat, chin lock, lariat. And I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, this is intentional. He's doing this on purpose. He can do more than this, I think. I think he is capable of better. But I'm just looking at it going, well, next month he's going to face Randy Orton probably. And I'm just looking at the rest of it going, this is Cody. This is what he managed to get out of Cody Rhodes, one of the best wrestlers in the company. And the guy that can do this type of match, other than Roman, probably better than anyone. So, and I'm looking at it going, oh no. We're in for a long run if this is the standard of every match.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. And yeah, I think the reason it wouldn't have minded, people wouldn't have minded if we actually got The Rock. I think if this match played out exactly how it is, but we saw The Rock and he did something to really influence it, then I think people wouldn't really be righted because it's what you would expect to make his appearance matter.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still say the match was crap, but But the thing is, I at the very least would go, well, I thought the match was crap, but they got to the destination fine. They did what they were supposed to do. Fine. I did not expect this match to be a 5-star classic. Like I said, I can count on one hand the amount of Cena matches I can say I love.
100%.
Really love. That's a personal thing, but like this is probably one of his this was not a good look for Cena, whereas I thought the Chamber really was. But again, more room to hide him, perhaps, or he's just got better, and this was just a bad night. But either way,
man, we are here, and Monday Night Raw is still going to be a must-watch with everything that has happened and transpired. All of WrestleMania, not just the main event. But that is all the time we have today. We went overtime, but it's all good, man. We had a phenomenal week. last week in regards to Wrestling Republic. A phenomenal weekend. Salute to everyone. Myself, Chaos, David, we was all on the ground this week giving y'all content on the WR channel. So salute to y'all and salute to y'all being today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll be back same time reviewing Monday Night Raw. In the words of our world champion, Jay Uso, deuces, we are out of here. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.
Yeet.